I want you to receive this in the stillness within your own heart, not in the rush of your thoughts, not in the noise of comparison, not in the ache that keeps telling you you are late. Come away inside, even for a moment, and listen. I do not come to you with thunder or spectacle to impress your senses. I reach you like the first light of dawn, quiet, certain, faithful, spreading light where you have felt mostly shadow. My child, this is not condemnation, nor is it abandonment. This is my voice, and I am near. As it is written, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. You have called this delay failure. You have named it punishment. You have wondered if I passed you by, if I chose another, if I lost patience with your stumbles. Hear me? I am asking you to wait a little longer, not to deny you, but to prepare you, because a blessing received before your heart is ready can become a burden that harms you. I am not withholding the blessing. I am withholding the harm that would rise up around it if you received it too soon. I am guarding you from what you do not yet see, preserving you from a pressure you cannot yet carry in peace. This is not a closed heart. It is a covered seed. As it is written, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. Do you see? There is a kind of pause that is procrastination, soft, self-soothing, a whisper that says, later will do. That is not what I am placing on you now. The pause in you now is my hand upon your shoulder, a steadying before you stand. The unease you keep analyzing is not a verdict against you. It is a witness that I am very near. The restlessness, the fatigue that sleep cannot fix, the impatience that beats against your chest, the sense of being almost there and yet not through the door. Do not treat these like proof of my absence. They are signals that I am arranging the steps beneath your feet. I am not scolding you for moving slowly. I am saving you from stepping into a gift unrooted. As it is written, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. Psalm 32:8. My beloved, I do not measure you by speed, but by direction. I do not count your worth in milestones reached, but in the turning of your heart toward me. One obedient step in the right direction is more precious to me than 1,000 hurried strides into a place I did not send you. Waiting is still movement when it is obedience, because in waiting with me, your roots go down, your sight clears, your breath returns. I am shaping patience in you, not to prolong disappointment, but to heal the urgency that keeps mistaking motion for fruit. I do not speak to instill fear in you, but that you may live. Pause, breathe, let your soul stop arguing with time, long enough to hear what I am forming within you. You have stared so long through the window of what is next that you have missed the warmth of what I am placing in your hands now. There is a hush I am teaching you to love, a stillness where your identity is not pulled by outcomes, where your energy is not consumed by the fear of being overlooked. I stabilize your heart in this quiet so that when the door opens, you will walk, not run, and you will recognize the blessing by its peace rather than by its shine. As it is written, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119:105. You have asked me, if you love me, why not now? And I answer you with the gentleness of a father who sees beyond the hill you are climbing. Because I love you, I protect you from the weight that would bend your back if placed upon you today. Because I love you, I am training your hands to hold without clutching, your heart to receive without needing the gift, to prove you are worthy. Delay in my hands is a sanctuary where motives are purified and fears lose their voice. It is an operating room where what has threatened your peace is removed before it can travel with you into the blessing. There is a readiness I am after that cannot be rushed by willpower or secured by strategy. It grows in the soil of trust, watered by small obediences that others do not see. The prayer whispered when it would be easier to complain, the apology extended while pride resists, the simple kindness offered without recognition. Do not despise these hidden days. I am not wasting your time. I am weaving your time into wisdom. When you feel the ache of almost, do not harden your heart. As it is written, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. My child, remain with me here. Let my presence become more than the waiting room. Let it become the reason your heart is at rest. I am nearer than your breath. I am more faithful than the clock on your wall. I am not late. I am aligning. I am not silent. I am speaking in a language deeper than words, arranging people, closing paths that would have flattered you for a season, but emptied you for years, strengthening the parts of you that success cannot supply. Receive this. The delay is not a no. It is my love, protecting and preparing you, so that when the gift arrives, it will not bend you under pressure, but lift you into peace. Return to me and walk with me, step by measured step. Watch and do not fear. When the dawn fully breaks, you will understand why the night was held a little longer, and you will call it mercy. My child, remain in the quiet a moment longer and let me show you the shape of my mercy, hidden inside this pause. A gift set upon an unreinforced heart is not yet a blessing. It is a weight that bows what is still tender, a roof placed before a foundation, a harvest piled upon a field whose roots have not yet gripped the earth. When the sapling is crowned too early, the storm does not need to be great to break it. When applause finds you before wisdom steadies you, the sound that seemed like wind beneath your wings becomes wind against your chest. I do not speak this to frighten you, but that you may live. As it is written, some seed had no root, and when the sun rose, it was scorched. Matthew 13:6. I am not scorning your desire. I am strengthening your roots. Do you see? What arrives too soon often drives you into hidden places, not because the thing is evil, but because your insides begin to scramble to carry what your character cannot yet hold in peace. You start performing to maintain what you fear you cannot sustain, proving to silence a fear that whispers, you are still not enough, concealing the cracks that pressure begins to widen. Joy grows dim when it becomes a performance, and peace becomes expensive when you must purchase it with constant explanation, overcommitment, and the quiet betrayals of your own boundaries. Darkness loves this, because in the shadows of busyness and proof chasing, small compromises multiply undisturbed. But light is truthful by nature. It reveals in order to heal. As it is written, everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. Ephesians 5:13. I keep you in the light by keeping you in time. You have been asking me for the outcome, while I have been answering you with formation. You have been saying, open the door, and I have been placing in your hands the keys of patience, self-control, and truthfulness. So the door, when opened, will not become a revolving entry for chaos. You have wanted speed. I have wanted safety. You asked me for more visibility. I have been giving you vision. You prayed for platforms. I gave you a private room where your motives could breathe and be purified. You longed for reach. I taught you how to remain. It is not that I am deaf to your requests. I am answering the deeper need beneath them, so that what you carry will not crush you. As it is written, the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. I remove the sorrow by forming the soul. My beloved, do you recognize how you rush because you fear losing it? And do you see how fear, when given the steering wheel, makes you mishandle what you prayed for? Fear counts days like enemies, measures people like threats, and treats gifts like assignments to be defended at all costs. Fear pushes you to speak when silence would have guarded you, to say yes when wisdom whispers no, to spend what you do not have to impress those who are not charged with your destiny. Fear builds without blueprint, hires without discernment, promises what your body and calendar cannot keep. But I have not given you that spirit. As it is written, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. I slow you not to deprive you, but to deliver you from the manager called fear. Hear me. What I reserve for you cannot be stolen by another while you become ready for it. The doors I open no one can shut, and the doors I close no one can force open to hurry your way to harm. I do not bargain with your timeline, and I am never threatened by clocks. I have written your days, and I am not confused about sequence. As it is written, what he opens no one can shut, and what he shuts no one can open. Revelation 3:7. Let this free you from the panic that makes you grasp and grasp until your knuckles ache. You do not need to manufacture what I have promised. You need to become the one who can carry it with peace. Consider the subtle pattern I am breaking in you. When you are unrooted, recognition becomes a drug, and you go to it for identity. Then every critique feels like exposure, and every compliment becomes a leash. When you are unrooted, opportunity becomes oxygen, and you inhale without asking whether the air is clean. Then compromise seeps in slowly. Small exaggerations, tiny omissions, tolerating what used to grieve you. When you are unrooted, generosity turns into approval-seeking, hospitality turns into burnout, and leadership turns into control. These are not your destiny. I am establishing you so that your yes remains clean, your no remains kind, and your boundaries become walls that protect, not prisons that isolate. Light calls these habits by name now so they will not follow you into the blessing under disguises. As it is written, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119:105. Pause. Listen. The mercy you feel as slowness is me rearranging the inside furniture of your life so that when the new arrives, there is room, order, and rest. I am teaching your heart to host what you asked for without evicting your peace. I am fitting your schedule to your calling and your values to your voice. I am training your emotions to serve your mission rather than hijack it, so that zeal will not outrun wisdom and compassion will not be weaponized against you. I am not withholding the blessing. I am withholding the burden that comes from receiving it too soon. I do not come to diminish your longing, but to deepen your capacity. I do not ask you to love delay, but to recognize its kindness. As it is written, no good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. Psalm 84:11. Uprightness includes waiting when I say wait. My child, trust the clockwork of my kindness. I make all things beautiful in their time, and beauty is not only what you see, it is how it fits, how it breathes, how it lives with you without demanding you betray yourself to keep it alive. When it is time, the blessing will not demand proof. It will recognize the house I have prepared in you. When it is time, the weight will be weighty but not crushing, heavy with purpose but light with grace. Timing is part of the gift. As it is written, he has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Receive this as the seal upon your restless questions. My delay is protective mercy. Remain with me in the light. Let your roots drink deeply, and you will find that when the door opens, you will not run panting to catch up. You will walk in, whole, and peace will greet you as if you had lived there all along. My child, now in this light, let me speak to you about patience, not as a word you have heard misused to mean idleness, but as the first healing I am working within you. Patience with me is deliverance. It is the unwinding of the panic in your chest, the steadying of the hands that have learned to grip everything for fear it will disappear, the reordering of your nervous system to the cadence of my peace. When I ask you to wait, I am not postponing your life, but restoring the rhythm by which you can live without burning out what I am giving. As it is written, in quietness and trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. Understand this. Patience is not passivity. It is not negligence, apathy, or the lazy agreement to do nothing. Patience is alignment, your will returning to its seat, your emotions kneeling to wisdom, your steps receiving their timing from me. Patience is the confidence to move only at the speed of clarity. It is the restraint to let fruit ripen so that when you bite, you do not break your teeth against what is still stone hard. As it is written, he who believes will not make haste. Isaiah 28:16. And again, those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Isaiah 40:31. Patience renews, haste drains. But there are two thieves at your door. One is the soft delay that whispers, later will do, not now. It lulls you into postponing the next obedient step, distracting you with comforts and imaginary urgencies until the most important doors of your life are quietly closing and you do not hear the sound. The other is the panic that shouts, now or never. It whips your soul into bargains and quick signatures, fast commitments, and premature announcements that bind you to what does not belong to you. Both, if believed, pull you off my path. Do you see? I am teaching you to discern between my pause and your procrastination, between my green light and your adrenaline. Listen to the signs that you are drifting from patience, the late-night overthinking that churns without producing prayer, the compulsive checking for updates as if a notification could confirm your worth, the subtle comparisons to someone else's timeline that sour your gratitude, the way you start forcing conversations, sending one more message, making one more call, arranging outcomes with your own hands, the rehearsed speeches you practice in your head to convince, defend, or impress, the quick yes you give while your spirit says no, the tightness in your body that does not respond to rest because it is not tiredness, but fear. This is not condemnation. It is light naming what has been training your heart more than my word has. As it is written, let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, lacking nothing. James 1:4. Here is the replacement I am forming in you. When urgency surges, pause. Breathe. Place your phone face down. Put your hand upon your chest and call my name. Return to the stillness where you first learned my voice. Ask simple questions. Is this desire or instruction? Is this peace or pressure? Is this love or fear? Let my peace become your clock. Let my word become your anchor. As it is written, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15. And again, be anxious for nothing, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds. Philippians 4:6-7. Peace is not the absence of deadlines. It is the presence of my rule within you. Remain long enough to hear the difference between desire and instruction. Desire is not evil. I placed holy longings in you. But instruction is what clothes desire with timing, sequence, and boundary. Desire says, I want. Instruction says, now or not yet, or prepare here first. Many are led by desire dressed as a command and then wonder why provision feels thin and outcomes require constant rescue. My beloved, do not move when your desire is loud, but my instruction is quiet. If a decision demands you to betray peace to meet its urgency, step back. If an opportunity threatens the values I have been fortifying in you, decline it. If you must answer now or lose it, let it pass. What is mine for you does not require you to violate the very peace I gave you to protect you. As it is written, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37:7. Patience heals urgency by breaking the covenant you made with hurry. Hurry promised you that love, value, and safety would be available if you just stayed in motion. It lied. I am disentangling you from that lie. I am teaching your body the memory of calm, your mind the habit of truth, your calendar the dignity of no. When you practice patience, you are not losing time. You are retrieving it from waste. You are protecting future hours from being spent on cleaning up what haste created today. You are preserving energy for obedience rather than recovery from regret. As it is written, I have calmed and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. Psalm 131, verse 2. Do not confuse slowness with safety when I am prompting you to act, and do not confuse speed with faith when I am calling you to be still. Patience is listening long enough to tell the difference. It is an ear trained to my cadence, an eye that does not blink in the presence of pressure. It is the steady hand that signs only what the Spirit has co-signed. It is the soft word that declines when the crowd shouts yes. It is the courage to let some doors close because they would have led you to cells. It is the humility to ask for counsel, the wisdom to sleep before you speak, the strength to pray before you post. As it is written, be patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand. James 5:8. Hear me. Patience is the first proof that you trust me more than you trust outcomes. When you choose patience, you declare with your body, God is faithful. I do not need to rush to keep what only He can give. When you stand still at my word, you are standing under the canopy of my protection. I see the intersecting roads ahead of you, the vehicles you do not see, the storm not yet formed. I time your steps so that peace, not pressure, becomes your environment. As it is written, wait for the Lord, be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. So return to me each time urgency knocks. Sit with me until the heat lowers and clarity rises. Say aloud, even if only in a whisper, I release the need to make it happen. I receive your pace, your path, your portion. Remain long enough to hear the difference between the ache of desire and the assignment of instruction. In that remaining, you will find that what used to own you will no longer rule you, and the blessing you have prayed for will arrive into hands that no longer shake. My child, now let me place my hand upon the deeper place beneath your urgency, the place where your name lives, the place that either steadies you or sends you into storms. This is not condemnation, nor is it abandonment. This is the second hidden test, identity, so you will not need the blessing to prove you matter. I am not content to give you gifts that replace me in your heart. I am determined to make you so secure in my love that no outcome becomes your oxygen. I stabilize your identity first, so the blessing will not become a substitute for my love. As it is written, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. Isaiah 43:1. Do you see why waiting aches like it does? When your identity is still fragile, you unconsciously hire the promised thing to tell you who you are. You make a relationship a mirror for your worth, a platform a verdict on your voice, money a measurement of your value, a title a covering for your shame, a house an address for your hope. Then delay feels like a verdict against your being, a silent courtroom where time is the judge and you keep losing. This is why I pause you here and draw you close, not to embarrass you, but to rescue you from asking created things to do the work only the Creator can do. As it is written, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1:5. And again, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Jeremiah 31:3. Your name was spoken by me before any calendar began to count your days. My beloved, hear the contrast that frees. Not achievement, but sonship. Not applause, but belonging. Not when I get it, then I will be, but because you are mine, therefore you are. I do not measure you by speed, but by direction. I do not crown you for outcomes, but for alignment. I am your father, not your client. I am your source, not a sponsor whose favor you must maintain. As it is written, see what kind of love the Father has given to us, that we should be called children of God. And so we are. 1 John 3:1. And again, you have received the Spirit of adoption, by whom we cry, Abba, Father. Romans 8:15. Your identity is not a salary to be earned. It is a birthright to be received. Let me expose the trap with tenderness. If you receive the blessing while still starving for approval, you will make the blessing your God, and you will call it gratitude. You will protect it with compromises, perform to keep it. Tolerate what grieves your spirit because you fear losing what now defines you. You will put my name upon your hustle and call it faith, while your heart becomes more exhausted and your peace more expensive. That is not what I am giving you. As it is written, little children, keep yourselves from idols. 1 John 5:21. And again, you shall have no other gods before me. Exodus 23. I am not jealous because I am insecure. I am jealous because I am the only one who can hold your heart without breaking it. Consider how this idolatry disguises itself. I'm just being faithful, you say, while you check your metrics as if they are sacraments. I'm just building, you say, while you build upon the sand of comparison. I'm just honoring opportunities, you say, while your boundaries erode under the pressure to please. Recognition becomes a leash. Criticism becomes a wound that bleeds for days. Silence becomes unbearable because it starves the part of you that believes you must be seen to be real. But when identity is rooted in me, you can be quiet without disappearing, seen without being swallowed, successful without being seduced, delayed without being diminished. As it is written, whoever believes in him will not be put to shame. Romans 10:11. And again, after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. 1 Peter 5:10. You are not behind, you are being established. Pause. Listen. Stop negotiating your worth with time. Return to me as a child, not as an employee. You do not clock in to be loved. You do not submit deliverables to be seen. You do not audition for your place at my table. Come and sit. Let me rehearse over you the sentence that began my son's public journey before he performed a single miracle. You are my beloved son. With you I am well pleased. Mark 1:11. If he began from belovedness, will you begin from anything less? As it is written, you are no longer a slave, but a son, and if a son, then an heir through God. Galatians 4:7. Belovedness is your starting place, not your finish line. Let us name the false names that have tried to attach themselves to you. Too late, not enough, almost, second choice, invisible, imposter. These are not my words. These are labels issued by fear, printed by comparison, approved by hurry. Bring them into the light and let them burn. I call you chosen, known, held, set apart, sent at the right time. As it is written, he chose us in him before the foundation of the world. In love he predestined us for adoption, to the praise of his glorious grace. Ephesians 1:4-6. And again, you shall be called by a new name that the mouth of the Lord will give. Isaiah 62:2. Wear what I have named you, and other names will fall away. Here is a quiet declaration for your morning and your midnight. I am chosen before the door opens. I am known before the invitation arrives. I am held when the room is full and when the room is empty. I am not behind, I am being established. Speak it until it becomes the soil your thoughts grow from, the atmosphere your decisions breathe. Let your calendar learn it, let your spending reflect it, let your conversations be released from the constant introduction of your accomplishments to justify your presence. Identity settled makes generosity clean, boundaries kind, leadership gentle, rest possible. As it is written, in returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. Do you see the mercy? I withhold not to starve you, but to feed you with food that will not betray you later. I slow the room so you can hear my name for you above the noise of demand. I close certain paths so you do not sell your birthright for a bowl of fast praise. I am lifting from you the pressure to make yourself, so that when the blessing comes, it will arrive to a house already inhabited by peace. As it is written, blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. He is like a tree planted by water. It does not fear when heat comes. It does not cease to bear fruit. Jeremiah 17:7-8. Rooted identity does not panic under weather. It drinks, it stands, it continues. So, return. Return from rehearsing speeches that prove your worth. Return from overpromising to secure affection. Return from the long corridors of comparison where you shrink and swell by the minute. Sit with me and let me look at you without you performing. Let me ask you the questions that heal. Who told you that you were late? Who taught you that applause equals acceptance? Who convinced you that your future depends on their timeline? My child, I am your timeline. I am your acceptance. I am your future. As it is written, I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. When I am finished stabilizing you here, you will not need the blessing to be a mirror. It will become a tool. You will not recruit it to fill the hole of belonging. You will steward it to serve your calling. And when you place it upon the altar of my love, it will not own you. You will own it, and together we will use it for life. Remain with me and let your name rest. Then, when the door swings open, you will walk as one who already belonged before any invitation was sent, and the peace you carry will protect what you receive. As it is written, the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. I remove the sorrow now by setting your identity in me. My child, now that I have steadied your name within you, let me place my hand upon the gates around you. This is the third hidden test, boundaries, so access to you does not corrupt what I give you. What I am forming inside must be surrounded by wisdom outside, for without boundaries, every blessing becomes an open courtyard where pressure, demand, and flattery walk in without knocking and carry away what was meant to serve your calling. A city may be rich in treasure, but without walls and gates set with discernment, the night does not need many thieves, only one open entrance. As it is written, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Proverbs 25:28. I am teaching you to build with gates, not barbed wire, with wisdom, not fear. You have learned through waiting that you are mine. Now learn that because you are mine, not everyone receives the same access to your time, your attention, your energy, your oil. I know how you avoid saying no, how you fear disappointing people, how you leave doors ajar to stop the accusation of being selfish, how you return to draining cycles because conflict wears your heart and you would rather absorb harm than be called unkind. But hear me, I have not called you to be available to everyone. I have called you to be obedient to me. Availability without discernment is not love, it is leakage. As it is written, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. Even my son, in perfect love, withdrew from crowds to protect the stream within. As it is written, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5:16. And again, rising very early, he departed and went out to a desolate place, and there he prayed. Mark 1:35. Withdrawal was not rejection, it was alignment. Do you see how light exposes not only sin, but also misalignments that seem innocent? Certain relationships, habits, and environments cannot travel with you into what I am bringing. Not because they are monsters, but because they are misfitted for the weight ahead. Some people are beautiful in friendship, but harmful in counsel. Some rooms applaud you while slowly deforming your convictions. Some rhythms comfort you while stealing your strength. When I prune, I am not being cruel. I am making you fruitful. As it is written, every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. Alignment often looks like loss for a moment, but it is gain in season. As it is written, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. 1 Corinthians 15:33. And again, can two walk together unless they have agreed? Amos 3:3. Agreement is not sentiment, it is direction. Now let me strengthen your discernment. Unease within you is often my protection, the quiet siren of the Spirit saying, not this, not now, not here. Do not argue with that restraint by stacking logic against it. Not every opportunity is provision. Not every open door is mine. Some doors are tests to reveal whether your hunger still outruns your hearing. As it is written, they attempted to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit of Jesus did not allow them. Acts 16:7. And again, a wide door for effective work has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. 1 Corinthians 16:9. Sometimes I open, sometimes I restrain, sometimes I open and call you to guard. Wisdom listens for instruction, not just looks at the size of the door. And when I say, withhold, you are not withholding love, you are protecting holiness. As it is written, do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs. Matthew 7:6. A pearl becomes trampled only when its carrier has no boundary. You ask, how do I love and still set a boundary? Love names what is true without accusation, places limits without contempt, closes doors without slamming them in rage. Love says, I cannot meet at that hour. I do not discuss this topic. I will not fund what injures your soul. I need time to respond. I cannot carry this conversation alone. I must leave now. Love refuses to be controlled, and it refuses to control. As it is written, let what you say be simply yes or no. Matthew 5:37. Your yes is holy when your no is established. Your compassion is clean when your assignments are clear. Your generosity is life-giving when your limits are honored. Here is your practical obedience. Close what I have been warning you about, gently, firmly, without guilt. End the contract that has become a slow corrosion of your values. Step back from the chat thread that turns you hard and distracts you daily. Take the meeting off your calendar that you keep surviving instead of serving. Unfollow the feed that stirs envy and restlessness. Set hours when your phone becomes a gate, not a drain. Protect the morning watch where I speak with you before anyone else writes upon your soul. Keep the Sabbath holy as a boundary around belonging. As it is written, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Exodus 28. And again, give no opportunity to the devil. Ephesians 4:27. Opportunity is given through open access. Shut the gates I show you, and you shut the thief. This is not a rejection of people. It is a reordering of access so that your love has strength and shape. Even when he loved them, my son did not entrust himself to everyone. As it is written, Jesus, on his part, did not entrust himself to them because he knew all people. John 2:24. Entrusting is not the same as embracing. You can embrace generously and still entrust sparingly. You can serve widely and confide narrowly. You can be kind to many and covenant with few. Do you see how this keeps your heart soft? Boundaries do not harden the heart. They prevent the heart from being rubbed raw. Consider the parable you know well. At midnight, the cry went out, and the foolish asked the wise for their oil. The wise did not share, not from greed, but from stewardship, because some portions cannot be transferred. They must be acquired in secret over time. As it is written, there will not be enough for us and for you. Go rather to the dealers and buy for yourselves. And while they were going to buy, the bridegroom came, and the door was shut. Matthew 25:9-10. Do you see? Oil requires boundary. If you spill yourself to keep every lamp lit, you will meet me empty at the hour you were born to shine. I am protecting your midnight. Pause. Listen. Let me give you images to carry. Think of your life as a garden with a gate and paths. The gate is not to keep love out. It is to direct footsteps, so delicate plants are not trampled. Think of your time as seed. You do not scatter it on concrete to prove your generosity. You sow where I point, water where I instruct, and you pull weeds when they threaten to choke what is becoming. As it is written, the lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Indeed, I have a beautiful inheritance. Psalm 16:6. Lines are pleasant when they are placed by love. Now strengthen your gates. Appoint watchmen over your hours. Let peace be the guard that checks credentials at the entrance of each new request. As it is written, on the wall, O Jerusalem, I have set watchmen. Isaiah 62:6. And again, we prayed to our God and set a guard as a protection against them day and night. Nehemiah 4:9. Prayer and a guard, both, spirit and structure, together. Do not apologize for protecting what I am building in you. When I send the blessing, it will not be consumed by people-pleasing, nor siphoned by pressure, nor diluted by misplaced access. It will live with you in peace, and your boundaries will sing like walls covered in vines, strong and beautiful, saying to all who approach, enter by wisdom, leave by love. My child, now that you can wait without panic, now that you know who you are without a title to hold you together, now that your gates have learned to open and close by wisdom, come near and let me teach you how to carry weight. This is the fourth hidden test, stewardship, because what you ask me for will not float above your life like decoration. It will rest within you with substance, and if the vessel is weak, the oil will spill. Stewardship is the vessel that keeps the blessing from spilling into chaos. I am not asking you to perform, I am training you to hold. As it is written, no one puts new wine into old wineskins. But new wine is put into fresh wineskins, and so both are preserved. Matthew 9:17. Do you see? I preserve you and the blessing by shaping the vessel before I fill it. Understand this. What I give will multiply what you already are. Increase is an amplifier, not a healer. If you carry order, increase multiplies peace. If you carry disorder, increase multiplies pressure. If gratitude lives in you, more will sing. If entitlement lives in you, more will demand. If secrecy and pretense have a house in you, more attention will build them a tower. If generosity flows in you, more will feed nations. If grasping rules you, more will never be enough. As it is written, to everyone who has, more will be given, but from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. Matthew 25:29. I am not cruel, I am consistent. The seed multiplies after its own kind. I love you too much to let increase amplify what will wound you and those around you. Stewardship begins in places no one claps for. How you think about minutes when nobody asks for them. How you treat a dollar when it does not look like glory. How you handle a conversation when flattery leans close. How you close the browser when curiosity wants just one more look. How you answer an email when frustration burns in your throat. How you return a message when the person cannot advance you. This is not condemnation, nor is it abandonment. This is love that teaches your hands to hold without shaking. As it is written, one who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much. Luke 16:10. And again, moreover, it is required of stewards that they be found faithful. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Faithfulness is not a spotlight, it is a way of breathing. Let me name the pillars of this stewardship I am building within you. Integrity in small things. Tell the truth when it would be easier to decorate it. Keep your word when the applause has faded. Return what is not yours, and do not invoice me with excuses for disobedience. Consistency when unseen. Pray when there is no microphone. Practice when there is no stage. Study when there is no test. Clean what only you will notice. Humility when praised. Receive encouragement without renting your soul to it. Deflect glory upward and outward. Let honor remind you of service, not superiority. Honesty when tempted to perform. Admit your limits, confess your struggles quickly, ask for help before collapse. Choose accuracy over image. As it is written, do your work heartily, as for the Lord, and not for men. Colossians 3:23. And again, be diligent to know the state of your flocks, and give attention to your herds. Proverbs 27:23. Diligence is love made practical. Hear me with tenderness and truth. Blessings received without stewardship become overtime for your soul. They demand more maintenance, require more conversations. You were not built to carry. Create more rooms where your presence is requested, but your peace is absent. Noise multiplies, rest thins. Simple joys get crowded out by constant coordination. Prayer becomes something you try to fit in rather than the air you breathe. You call it opportunity. I call it a leak. You call it the dream. Your body calls it an alarm. I am not scolding you. I am rescuing you from pressure dressed as promise. As it is written, the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. I remove the sorrow by forming the steward before I deliver the weight. Do not despise the small place where I am training your strength. The way you treat this day is the prophecy of how you will treat the day you are asking for. If you neglect the corner, you will neglect the room. If you rush the task, you will rush the calling. If you waste the 5, you will waste the 50. As it is written, whoever despised the day of small things, Zechariah 4:10. And again, prepare your work outside, get everything ready in the field, and after that, build your house. Proverbs 24:27. Preparation is not delay, it is protection. Let me be specific, because love is specific. Steward your time. Give your mornings to me before the world writes its agenda upon you. Define work, rest, and holy pauses so that your days do not bleed into exhaustion. Put your phone down when it becomes a gate for every voice but mine. As it is written, teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Psalm 90:12. Steward your resources. Create a budget that tells your money where to bow. Honor me first. Pay what you owe. Save a portion. Sow where I point. Be content with enough. Resist the itch to upgrade what does not advance obedience. As it is written, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Proverbs 3:9. Steward your words. Let your yes be clean and your no be kind. Keep confidences, refuse gossip. Bless those who cannot repay your kindness. As it is written, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. Steward your body. Sleep when you should. Move so that strength remains. Eat in ways that honor your calling. Let Sabbath teach your nervous system to trust me. As it is written, your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. 1 Corinthians 6:19. Steward your assignments by distinguishing them from your appetites. Assignment is what I have actually asked of you. Appetite is what your ambition craves to do to feel significant. Assignment carries grace. Appetite demands hustle. Assignment produces fruit that remains. Appetite produces harvests that require constant rescue. Ask yourself when invitations come, is this aligned with what you told me? Does this steal from what you already entrusted to me? Will peace or pressure govern this room? As it is written, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15. Let peace be the umpire. Let it call balls and strikes on your calendar. And when praise begins to gather around you, remember what I taught you in hiddenness. Bow lower, not because you are nothing, but because you are entrusted. Share the credit, lift others into light, point to the team that carried the weight, and quietly strengthen the structures that will hold tomorrow. As it is written, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. James 4:6. Humility is not self-contempt. It is clean arithmetic about who does what. I pour in, you pour out. We rejoice together. There will be moments when you feel the old urge to promise beyond capacity, to add without removing, to showcase without substance. In that moment, stop. Remember the garden, the gate, the lines in pleasant places. Ask me to show you the fragment you have overlooked, for even my son said, gather up the fragments that nothing be lost. John 6:12. Stewardship gathers the small so the large is not wasteful. It finishes conversations, it closes loops, it honors beginnings with faithful endings. It does not apologize for clarity. It does not sacrifice tomorrow's health for today's applause. My beloved, hear this seal. I am not delaying to deny you. I am forming within you the hands that can carry what you prayed for without breaking you or spilling life upon the ground. I am teaching you the rhythm where excellence is worship, not performance, where structure is freedom, not cage, where accounting is gratitude, not greed, where feedback is sharpening, not shame. As it is written, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Genesis 2:15. Work it and keep it, cultivate and guard. This is stewardship. So be faithful with what is in your hands now. Water what is growing instead of staring at what is not yet planted. Clean your table. Answer with integrity. Finish what you began. Return what you borrowed. Learn the skill you have postponed. Write the plan I keep bringing to your mind. Bring your ledger into my light. Sit with me at day's end and ask, did I carry today as one who is yours? If today reveals a leak, do not despair. Bring it to me and I will show you where to seal. As it is written, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, and it will be given. James 1:5. I do not expose to embarrass, I expose to equip. When the vessel is ready, the oil will not be late. You will not fear overflow because overflow will have banks. You will not dread increase because increase will arrive into order. You will not mistake noise for significance because presence will mark your work. Remain with me in this training. Let stewardship become your quiet strength. Then, when the blessing comes, it will fit you like a yoke that is easy and a burden that is light, and you will carry it in peace. As it is written, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:30. My child, come near and listen to me in the same stillness where I have trained your hands. I want you to see Solomon, and in seeing him, to understand why I am shaping you slowly, why I am asking you to wait a little longer. why I insist on order, wisdom before abundance, formation before elevation, depth before display. I do not come to you with thunder, nor to burden you with dread. I reach you like the first light of dawn, so that you will notice the contours of this truth. I give wisdom before increase, so the increase will not destroy you. As it is written, ask what I shall give you. 1 Kings 3:5. And again, give your servant therefore an understanding mind to govern your people, that I may discern between good and evil. 1 Kings 3:9. Solomon asked me for wisdom, not for wealth, not for the heads of enemies, not for the length of days. And it pleased me. As it is written, it pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this. 1 Kings 3:10. Do you see the order? Because he asked for understanding to serve and not for increase to shine, I entrusted to him what he did not request. As it is written, behold, I give you a wise and discerning mind. I give you also what you have not asked, both riches and honor. 1 Kings 3:12-13. The order mattered, not riches first, but readiness, not speed first, but depth, not public elevation, but private formation. When wisdom stands at the door, wealth becomes safe to enter. When wisdom is absent, increase becomes an intruder, carrying pressure, complication, and accelerated temptation. My beloved, I am not withholding from you. I am withholding the burden that comes from receiving what you prayed for before your roots are able to hold it. I do not measure you by speed, but by direction. As it is written, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew 6:33. Do you see the verb? Seek first, then addition. You keep asking for the what? Money, open doors, favor, the stage, the partner, the house, the platform, the yes. But I am shaping the how you will manage influence without becoming addicted to being seen, how you will carry attention without rehearsing yourself in mirrors, how you will translate more resources into more service instead of more self. I am forming in you patterns that can live under weight without bending into pretense, patience that governs impulse, identity that quiets insecurity, boundaries that protect access, stewardship that sustains pace. These are not delays, these are pillars, and when pillars stand, the house does not tremble when the second floor is added. As it is written, by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. Proverbs 24:3. Consider again how I met Solomon. In the secret place of a dream, where desire is honest and defenses are thin, I asked him to name his ask. His heart, though young, reached for what would serve others. Give me wisdom. That prayer aligned him with my nature. As it is written, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 9:10. Wisdom is not a trick of strategy. It is the fruit of reverence, the clarity that arrives when you acknowledge me as the reference point for all decisions. This is why I have been training you to begin your days in my presence, to let peace rule, to number your hours, to guard your gates. You are learning reverence in practical form, because I intend to answer your requests in their appointed time, and I will not hand you what you cannot hold in holiness. Do you see how each of the hidden tests prepared Solomon's early steps? Patience heals urgency so that requests are not made from panic, but from purpose. Identity steadies the heart so that wisdom is not used to prove worth, but to serve well. Boundaries clarify access so that counsel remains clean and pressure does not rewrite convictions. Stewardship orders the daily so that multiplication does not dissolve into noise. When these four stand together, they form a room where wisdom is at home, and where increase can enter as a guest and not seize control as a tyrant. Learn also from Solomon's later years, for I would not leave you with half a lesson. When he drifted from the guardrails I had written, When he multiplied what I said to limit, horses, gold, and wives, his heart was turned. As it is written, he shall not acquire many horses, and he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away. Deuteronomy 17:16-17. And again, when Solomon was old, his wives turned away his heart after other gods. 1 Kings 11:4. This is not condemnation, this is light speaking truth to preserve you. Wisdom must be asked for, received, and guarded. Boundaries remain holy after promotion. Identity must keep bowing after praise. Patience must still choose my timing when every door is knocking. Stewardship must not soften when the ledger is full. Do you see? Even wisdom can be compromised when the earlier tests are abandoned. I am telling you this not to instill fear in you, but that you may live. As it is written, above all else, guard your heart. Proverbs 4:23. My beloved, if you are weary of asking me for increase and seeing another sunrise of waiting, turn and ask me for wisdom again. Ask for wisdom for relationships, that you would recognize covenant from convenience, character from charisma, humility from charm. Ask for wisdom for money, that you would honor me first. Tell your resources where to bow. Resist the itch of unneeded upgrades, and sow where I point rather than where flattery points you. Ask for wisdom for calling, that you would tell appetite to sit down when assignment speaks, that you would choose fruit that remains over harvests that require constant rescue. Ask for wisdom for timing, that you would not outrun grace, that you would not enter rooms before your roots are ready, that you would recognize pauses as escorts of mercy. Ask for wisdom for restraint, that you would know when to be silent, when to say no without a footnote of apology, when to leave the crowd to pray. As it is written, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, and it will be given him. James 1:5. Open your mouth. Say it simply. Give your servant an understanding heart. Wisdom from above will mark you by its fruit, and you will know it by its peace. As it is written, the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits. James 3:17. When my wisdom governs, decisions stop feeling like coin flips between fear and ego. They become clear alignments with what I have already whispered. Plans quiet down into steps. The calendar breathes. Your yeses become clean and your no's become kind. Pressure loses its leverage. Influence stops being a mirror and becomes a window through which others see me. Wealth ceases to shout more and begins to fund mercy with joy. Titles stop telling you who you are because identity already settled the name. I am not far. I am very near to the one who asks in humility. As it is written, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. Psalm 32:8. Do not harden your heart against the simplicity of asking because you feel you should already know. Do not let shame silence your questions. My child, I have never left you. I delight to give wisdom, and with it I appoint order that makes abundance safe. The delay you feel is not me withholding love. It is me placing guards at the gates, so that when I add what you did not ask for, it will not add sorrow. As it is written, the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. Receive this as a seal upon your waiting. I am preparing you by giving you the headwaters, not merely the downstream gifts. I am establishing wisdom so that wealth will not hollow you, so that attention will not intoxicate you, so that influence will not isolate you, so that opportunity will not own you. Remain with me. Keep the order holy. Ask and ask again. When the time comes, you will find that what arrives does not rush you into performance, but settles upon you like peace. You will discover that what you carry does not fracture your soul, but makes room for others to breathe. And you will say, not with strain but with steady joy. You have made me both to receive and to remain. Seek first, my beloved, and I will add safely. Do you see? My child, remain in the stillness where I have been speaking to you, for I want to address the ache that rises when a way you hoped for is suddenly shut. Hear me, when I close a door, it is not rejection. It is mercy moving in advance. It is not abandonment. It is rescue before damage becomes destiny. I do not come to you with thunder to frighten you. I reach you like the first light of dawn to let you see where your next step would have led. Closed doors are often my hand on the handle, preserving you from corridors whose end you cannot yet see. As it is written, what he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. Revelation 3:7. Do you see? My shutting is as loving as my opening. There are times when I intervene early because love is not passive, while danger gathers quietly. A storm may rise not to destroy you, but to turn you from a wrong yes. I did not hate Jonah. I loved him enough to interrupt his flight. As it is written, the Lord sent out a great wind on the sea. Jonah 1:4. The wave was a restraining embrace. The fish was not a prison. It was a refuge with purpose, a pause that saved his future. I do the same with you. I send a disruption you did not anticipate, the email that never arrives, the deal that dissolves at the last meeting, the visa delayed, the rent increase that forces a move, the relationship that unravels after a truth is finally spoken. It stings, it confuses, it embarrasses. You feel late, you feel seen in your vulnerability, you feel like you have lost time. But prevention is gentler than repair. As it is written, the Lord disciplines the one he loves. Proverbs 3:12. And again, for the moment all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Hebrews 12:11. I am not punishing you. I am preserving fruit you have not yet tasted. You have heard a lie that whispers, if it was God, it would be easy. Listen to me. If it is mine, it will be true. And truth often requires pruning. Truth narrows options, trims excess, removes what flatters but cannot carry weight. As it is written, every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. The path that belongs to me is not always soft, it is sound. It will ask you to release what dazzles but does not endure. It will close rooms where applause is loud but motives are polluted. It will reduce noise so that peace can govern. I do not measure you by speed, but by direction. When I close a door, I anchor your direction back toward life. I know that when the door slams, your first impulse is to pry it back open. Call again, explain more, negotiate softer terms, bend convictions to keep access, label desperation as faith. Stop. My beloved, stop calling my protection a setback. Let the door remain shut without trying to reopen it through nostalgia, panic, or performance. Choose stillness over scrambling. Choose clarity over contortion. Choose trust over visibility. As it is written, in returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. Return, rest, strength will meet you there. I have been teaching you to read the subtle signals, an uneasiness without a clear explanation, a heaviness after the meeting, a lack of peace that refuses to be argued away. These are lamps for your feet. As it is written, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119:105. I counsel you with my eye upon you, not with flashing sirens, but with a steady gaze that nudges you to pause. Remain long enough to listen more clearly. Ask, is this door mine? If peace will not rule there, do not force your foot through the threshold. As it is written, Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15. Peace is the umpire. Let it make the call. Consider also how I led Paul. I closed a path not because I had nothing for him, but because I had something else, somewhere else, for someone else. As it is written, they were forbidden by the Holy Spirit to speak the word in Asia, and the Spirit of Jesus did not allow them. Acts 16:6-7. And yet the vision of Macedonia opened a new door. Do you see? A shut door is often a redirection, not a dead end. You are not stranded, you are steered. You say, but it felt right. There are many ways that feel right in a moment but lead to erosion over time. I see what is hidden behind the paint, the contract with buried hooks, the partner whose charm covers an unhealed wound that will lead both of you to a cliff, the team culture that celebrates results and quietly devours souls, the location that flatters your image and starves your spirit, the salary that buys your schedule and sells your Sabbath. I close the door before you sign what will sign you. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and he will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. Straight paths sometimes require closed lanes. There is pain in prevention, and I will not minimize it. You must process the embarrassment of explaining to others why it did not happen, the quiet grief of deleting photos, the sting of returning keys, the restless nights where you wonder if you misheard me. This is not condemnation, nor is it abandonment. Sit with me in the ache until peace returns. I am near to the brokenhearted. I do not despise your tears. As it is written, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. I am not just your guide at the gate, I am your comforter in the hallway. So here is how you will cooperate with my closing. Bless the shut door. Speak it out loud if you need to. Thank you for the no that saved my life. Do not follow the closed door on social media and nurse comparison like a slow poison. Release contacts that only tether you to rooms I have emptied. Return what is not yours to keep. Finish the small obediences within your current assignment. Keep your hands clean of manipulation, your calendar clear of flattery-driven yeses, your heart turned toward what I already gave you to tend. As it is written, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Be still, not passive. Be still and plant where I have placed you. My beloved, I am not late. I am exact. I am not punishing. I am protecting. I shut what would swallow you. I prune what would drain you. I remove what would rename you. And when you are ready, I will open what no one can close. And there will be no frantic striving to keep it open. No nightly bargaining to justify your presence in the room. It will fit like peace. As it is written, I know the plans I have for you, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Trust my hand on the handle. Walk with me down the hall. Another door awaits, and this time you will enter unhurried, unafraid, and held. My child, remain with me in this quiet, for here in the waiting, my light does its deepest work. I do not come to you with thunder to condemn, but like the first light of dawn to show you what you could not see in motion. This is not rejection, it is preparation. This is not abandonment, it is attentive love. I am asking you to wait a little longer, not to deny you, but to prepare you, because a blessing received before your heart is ready can become a burden that harms you. So I turn on the light now while the room is still, so that what hides in corners will not follow you into the open door. As it is written, everything exposed by the light becomes visible. Ephesians 5:13. And again, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119:105. Do you see how kindly light works? It does not shame, it reveals. It does not scold, it clarifies. It does not humiliate, it heals. Darkness is the environment where what remains unaddressed is allowed to grow. And I love you too much to let your unexamined places gain strength in silence. As it is written, whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen. John 3:21. I bring you to the light so that what is true may be clearly seen, so that mercy may meet you before momentum magnifies your weaknesses. My beloved, I am not exposing you to embarrass you. I am exposing what is not you, the foreign masters, the quiet poisons, the habits that learned to wear your name. Let me name gently what my light is finding, not as accusations, but as invitations to freedom. Resentment that sits beneath your smile, the kind you have learned to manage like a low fever. Comparison that scrolls silently in the night, telling you your pace is proof that you are behind. Secret compromises you justify as temporary. Small lies to keep access, subtle flattery to win favor. The harmless message you leave open for attention you do not need. Emotional spending that buys a moment of relief and sells tomorrow's peace. Attention-seeking dressed as updates where you rehearse your worth in front of mirrors made of eyes. The flirtation with what numbs you, feeds, fantasies, substances, late-night comforts that promise rest but steal authority. The quiet control that tells you, if I do not hold every string, I will be left with nothing. And so you grip until your hands ache. The bitterness you learn to live with, naming it boundaries, and while it salts the ground of your own joy, these are not your identity. These are weights that will multiply if carried into what you asked me for. I am not listing these to condemn you. Hear me again. This is not condemnation, nor is it abandonment. Light is truthful by nature. It reveals in order to heal. I expose in love now, so you will not carry hidden chains into open doors. As it is written, if we walk in the light as he is in the light, the blood of Jesus, his Son, cleanses us from all sin. 1 John 1:7. Cleansing meets you in the light, not outside of it. The weight is my mercy, giving you room to lay down what cannot travel. So let us do a gentle audit together, here where my peace can hold your answers without panic. When you feel powerless, where do you run? Into prayer or into performance? Into my presence or into your patterns? When you feel behind, which voice do you obey? The voice of pace or the voice of purpose, the crowd's countdown or my counsel? When you are unseen, how do you feed the ache? By asking me to name you again, or by arranging moments to be noticed? When fear visits in the night, do you medicate it with screens and sugar, or do you bring it raw into the light and breathe? When anger rises, do you tell the truth of it to me, or do you weaponize silence and call it wisdom? When options multiply, do you widen your reach or deepen your roots? When compliments come, does your heart bow in gratitude or begin to bargain for more? Pause. Listen. Remain long enough to answer honestly, and know that honesty is already a step toward freedom. As it is written, search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Psalm 139:23-24. Do you feel the sting of these questions? That sting is not shame. It is sensation returning to a limb that had fallen asleep. I am restoring feeling so you can walk with strength into what I am preparing. I do not measure you by speed, but by direction. One honest turn toward truth is more precious than 100 busy evasions. This is why the wait matters. In stillness, the small levers that move your decisions become visible. In noise, you baptize impulses and call them faith. In light, you discern what is from me and what is merely urgent. Bring what you find into my light. Do not curate it. Do not explain it into acceptability. Do not name it personality when it is a wound, nor preference when it is fear. Simply say to me, as a child speaks without strategy, I need you to make me clean. That single sentence opens doors inside you that your labor never could. As it is written, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. And again, he who conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. Proverbs 28:13. Mercy moves quickly when it hears truth spoken plainly. As you opened, I will guide you in small obediences that detox what has shaped you. You will unfollow voices that keep you restless. You will delete threads that keep you flirting with compromise. You will choose water over the numbing cup, prayer over the midnight scroll, a walk with me over another loop of anxious imagining. You will bless others when jealousy knocks, because generosity starves comparison. You will honor Sabbath in a culture that buys your exhaustion, because rest is warfare against the idol of outcome. You will apologize where pride built walls, not to lose power, but to regain peace. None of this is to earn the blessing. It is to ensure the blessing finds you whole. As it is written, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and run with endurance. Hebrews 12:1. Do you see now why I am patient with you and why I ask you to be patient with yourself? What you are asking me to add will multiply what you already are. If bitterness remains, influence multiplies bitterness. If purity is planted, increase multiplies purity. If you are anchored in my identity, promotion cannot rename you. If your boundaries are clean, access cannot erode you. If stewardship is your rhythm, abundance will not scatter you. My delay is protective mercy, shaping the inner life so that what comes will not unmake you. As it is written, the entrance of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. Psalm 119:130. My beloved, stay in the light. When you feel the instinct to hide, choose to step closer. Say the one honest sentence. Ask me to show you the root, and I will. I will not crush a bruised reed. I will not snuff a smoldering wick. As it is written, a bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench. Isaiah 42:3. I am not late, I am exact. I am not punishing, I am preparing. Let me finish this inner refining, and you will find that when the door opens, you enter it unshackled, steady, and at peace. Walk in the light with me, and what once ruled you will lose its voice. Then the blessing will not feel like pressure you must survive, but like peace you can sustain. Do you see? My child, remain close to me now, for what I am about to give you is not a checklist to impress me, but a way to breathe with me. I am inviting you into a single flow. Listen, respond, rest. These three are not separate ladders to climb. They are one river that carries you at my pace. Stillness, the next obedient step, and the release of control. This is how you cooperate with my timing without forcing outcomes, how you mature swiftly without straining your soul. I do not measure you by speed, but by direction. I am not asking you to perform, I am teaching you to remain. As it is written, in returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. First, stillness. Obedience begins where noise ends. Create a daily quiet place, not a shrine to effort, but a simple chair where your heart remembers how to breathe. Put your phone face down. Let the room be ordinary. Come to me before the day begins to demand a script. Say one honest sentence, not a speech. Lord, here I am. Open my word and let it steady your inner weather. Do not negotiate with anxiety. Do not bargain with your thoughts. Let peace rule. Sit long enough for the volume of fear to drop and the tone of my voice to become clear. If tears come, let them come. If silence sits, let it sit. Stillness is not inactivity, it is alignment. As it is written, Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. And again, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119:105. Where there is stillness, there is lamplight. Where there is lamplight, there is a path. In this quiet, I will train your ears to recognize the subtle signals, a restraint that says, not this, a nudge that says, call now, a peace that settles over one option while another keeps buzzing with performance energy. Remain long enough to listen more clearly. Do you see? Most missteps are not born from malice, but from motion without me. Return to stillness daily. Build this altar with minutes, not with vows you cannot keep. 10 minutes given honestly is more fruitful than an hour given resentfully. As it is written, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. James 4:8. Draw near, I am already near. Second, do the next right thing you already know. Maturity often accelerates through small obediences that feel too plain to matter. You do not need a spotlight to begin. You need a step. Apologize where your words cut and your tone defended your pride. Budget before you buy. Tell your money where to bow. Honor me first. Write the email you keep postponing. Submit the application. Finish the assignment you left half done. Set a boundary without an essay of apology. Say a clean no where you have been saying maybe to avoid discomfort. Show up to serve where there is no camera. Visit, call, bring, sweep, carry, learn. Open the book you purchased for growth and actually read the next chapter. Schedule the counseling, cancel the compromise. Take a walk and pray instead of rehearsing outcomes. Do it quietly, without theatrics, without posting the beginning as proof to others. As it is written, be doers of the word and not hearers only. James 1:22. And again, one who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much. Luke 16:10. Do not despise the unimpressive step. Oaks are hidden inside acorns. Destinies are guarded inside dailies. The door you are asking for often swings on the tiny hinge you are ignoring. When you steward what is within your reach, I extend your reach. When you honor the present assignment, I prepare the next. Direction over speed, faithfulness over flash. As it is written, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. Psalm 37:5. Commit your way, not the outcome, but the way. Third, release control. This is the obedience that loosens fear's grip on your throat. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenes like a theater that never closes. Stop living as if your vigilance keeps the sky from falling. Cast your anxieties upon me. My hands are not fragile. Attend to what is yours. Hand me what is mine. You are responsible for presence, honesty, and obedience. I am responsible for the season, the scale, and the doors. As it is written, cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. And again, do not be anxious about anything, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. Philippians 4:6-7. Surrender does not mean passivity, it means purity of action. You will act without the tremor of self-saving. You will plan while allowing me to edit your calendar. You will prepare for the interview and refuse to worship the outcome. You will send the proposal and reject the lie that a yes or a no can rename you. You will pray and sleep, not pray and spiral. You will show up early and leave the results in my hands. As it is written, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Proverbs 16:9. And again, therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Matthew 6:34. Stay with today. Let me be Lord of tomorrow. These three obediences, stillness, the next step, release, work together like breath. Inhale in stillness, exhale in obedience, rest in surrender. You will find that maturity moves more swiftly in this rhythm because confusion loses its leverage. You are no longer burning energy on what is not yours to carry. Pressure will not be your master because peace has taken the helm. You will sense when to pause, when to act, when to yield. Doors will open without contortion, and the ones that close will not undo you. As it is written, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15. Peace will call the strikes and the balls. You simply play the game with integrity. My beloved, today matters. Not later when the schedule is kinder. Not once the house is in order. Not after another loop of scrolling to numb the ache. Delay wraps itself in softness and whispers, tomorrow will do. Hear me, the most important doors do not slam. They close quietly while you are distracted. Choose today. Sit in stillness for these next minutes. Take one honest step before the sun sets. Open your hands and say, I release what is not mine to control. As it is written, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Hebrews 3:15. And again, watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour. Matthew 25:13. I do not speak this to instill fear, but that you may live. This path is protection dressed as practice. This is how you cooperate with my timing. You quiet the room inside you. You do the next faithful thing, and you let me be God over outcomes. Walk this way with me, and you will notice something beautiful. The future will stop shouting, the past will stop prosecuting, and the present will become a sanctuary where I am with you. Then, when the blessing arrives, it will not drag you into performance. It will rest upon you like peace, do you see? My child, remain in this quiet with me a little longer, for I want to tell you how the arrival will feel. When I open what belongs to you, it will not rush at you like panic. It will settle on you like peace. You will feel weight, yes, but it will be the kind your soul can carry without dread. The gravity of purpose that steadies you rather than a pressure that crushes you. I do not hand you gifts that require you to become someone else to keep them. I form you until what I give fits who you are in me. As it is written, the blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs 10:22. And again, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Exodus 33:14. Do you see? Rest is the atmosphere of what is truly mine. When the blessing arrives in my timing, it does not demand your soul as payment. It will ask for faithfulness, not frantic striving, attention, not anxiety, presence, not pretense. It will require responsibility, but responsibility will no longer taste like fear. You will rise to meet it with a steady heart, because I have been training your breathing in the waiting. As it is written, you keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Isaiah 26:3. Peace will not mean a lack of activity. Peace will mean your activity is aligned. Here is how you will recognize readiness. You will not chase. You will no longer beg rooms to let you in, count likes to measure your worth, or over-explain yourself to be tolerated. You will not tolerate what violates your calling. You will not barter away your Sabbath to impress those who do not carry your future. You will not edit truth to keep access. You will say no without a tremor where once you performed maybes to avoid discomfort. You will not squander what is placed in your hands on appearances or applause. You will steward it quietly, cleanly, gratefully. As it is written, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Matthew 5:37. And again, it is required of stewards that they be found faithful. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Faithfulness, not visibility, will be your measure. Identity will have anchored you. You will know you are mine before the door opens, so the door cannot rename you once you enter. You will come in already full of my love, so you will not siphon attention from the room to prove that you matter. You will bless without bargaining, correct without cruelty, lead without needing to be the loudest voice. As it is written, you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood. 1 Peter 2:9. Chosen people do not scramble to be noticed. They serve because they have already been seen. Your boundaries will stand like clean rivers around your life. Access will be ordered, not withheld from fear, but guided by wisdom. You will entertain counsel, not manipulation, collaboration, not compromise. You will recognize flattery as a sugar that starves strength. You will keep confidences sacred. You will leave the party at peace and return to your home with integrity intact. As it is written, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. Guarding will not mean walls against love. Guarding will mean gates with discernment. And stewardship will sing quietly through your days. You will tell your time where to go instead of time telling you who to be. You will budget to serve your future rather than purchase your anxieties. You will cultivate gifts with patience, plant small seeds daily, and refuse the illusion that urgency is fruitfulness. As it is written, who then is the faithful and wise servant, whom his master has set over his household, to give them their food at the proper time? Matthew 24:45. Proper time, proper portion, proper peace. My beloved, this is not only for you. What I place on you will bless others through you. Your patience in the waiting will become a testimony for the hurried. It will say, there is a better way than panic. Your boundaries will become a model for the exhausted. They will remember that self-control is a fruit of my spirit and an act of love. Your stewardship will become provision for rooms you have not entered yet. Teams will eat because you learn to gather wisely. Families will rest because you learn to plan with Sabbath. Communities will trust because you handled what was small with holiness. As it is written, I will bless you, so that you will be a blessing. Genesis 12:2. And again, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father. Matthew 5:16. Glory to the Father, that is the riverbed of all your increase. I know you wonder, will I recognize it? You will. It will come like dawn, quiet, certain, unstoppable. There will not be trumpet blasts announcing its every step, but you will notice the room brightening and realize the night is giving way. As it is written, for still the vision awaits its appointed time. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Habakkuk 2:3. I have never left you. Even now I work within what you call silence. The seed transforms in the soil before the stem breaks the ground. The baker's yeast works in the dough when the room seems still. As it is written, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Psalm 121:4. And again, I am watching over my word to perform it. Jeremiah 1:12. When doors open, you will feel a familiar peace standing inside the threshold because we have rehearsed it together in the waiting. An email will arrive, and rather than adrenaline, you will sense a simple yes. A relationship will deepen, and rather than anxiety, you will recognize mutual honor. An assignment will expand, and rather than performing, you will serve with joy. Favor will meet you, and you will not owe your soul for it. As it is written, come to me, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Matthew 11:28-30. Easy does not mean empty. Light does not mean lightweight. It means fitted to you by my hands. So hear me. Do not measure my faithfulness by the volume of noise around you. Measure it by the constancy of my presence within you. I do not measure you by speed, but by direction. Keep your direction toward me. Keep your practices small and honest. Keep your yes clean and your no clear. Keep your heart open to light. In due season you will reap, because I am not mocked and my rhythms do not fail. As it is written, in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. And again, those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall run and not be weary. Isaiah 40:31. Now, one simple response. Place your hand upon your heart and say, Father, I trust you. Prepare me fully. I will remain with you. Open what is yours, and I will carry it in peace. That one confession, spoken in truth, aligns you more than 1,000 anxious plans. As it is written, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. Psalm 37:5. Commit your way today. I am acting already. Go now in the peace I am giving you. Build without bargaining. Love without losing yourself. Serve without spectacle. Lead without leaving the secret place. Feed the hungry, tend the small, honor the quiet. Keep the lamp filled with oil. I am with you always to the end of the age. As it is written, and behold, I am with you always. Matthew 28:20. And again, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. My child, when you are ready, the blessing will arrive as peace you can sustain. Not pressure you must survive. Remain with me, receive what I give, and carry it in the light. Do you see?